Hello and welcome to the How to Use Genius video tutorial. By the end of this video you should understand what Genius is, how it works and how it will help you. Genius is myCRM's business intelligence section designed to deliver market analysis within your own myCRM account. There are two main ways to access Genius. One, by finding Genius within the dashboard main tab, or two, by clicking on the Analyse with Genius icon on a property. When you click on the dashboard tab, you're presented with two options: manually search or analyze a specific listing. Let's begin by talking through manual. If this is your first time visiting Genius, or if you would ever like a refresher, you can click on this icon and begin the interactive tour where Jonathan will guide you through the whole section. Of course, you can leave this tour whenever you like by clicking on the X. Imagine that you want to learn more about one-bedroom apartments which are for rent in Burj Khalifa. After filling in the filters, Genius will now deliver you the results based on 7 variables: price, size, amenities, rent collection, layout, demand analysis, and lead inquiries. Let's work through them in detail. The asking price section comes first and is perhaps the most important one to understand. In this example, 116 properties have been sampled from the past 6 months. Why 6 months? Because this is how long is required to have enough data to make the results statistically meaningful. Why 116? myCRM will only sample properties which have been published at least once to any supported portal. Then all the duplicated listings are removed, and finally the listings which are considered outliers, i.e. those with exceptional price differences, are also removed from the sample. If you were to change any of these variables or refine the search further, you'll note that this number will change. Indeed, it will change day to day as Genius recalculates. You'll note that the range of prices is displayed from low, medium to high. It shows you the proportion of leads interested in each range. In this case, most of the leads, 50% in fact, are interested in the lower end of the price range. This is also summarized in the sentence below. You can read all about how this information is calculated, the source of the data, and the disclaimer by clicking on the Read More icon. Next, Genius compares the price per size throughout the location tree. You can clearly see here the price per size of the average one bed for rent in Burj Khalifa is slightly more expensive than that of a comparable listing within Burj Khalifa area, which, on average, is more expensive than downtown, which is more expensive than Dubai. Again, this is summarized in the sentence underneath. After the price analysis comes size with the same principles of low, medium and high size range, as well as their corresponding popularity with the leads. In addition, it also compares the average size throughout the whole location. Further down, as it suggests, the amenities section shows the 10 of which are most represented throughout those 116 sampled properties. In other words, of the 116 sampled properties, 83% of the listings have shared swimming pools selected by the listing agent. This doesn't necessarily mean that 17% of the listings don't have access to the shared pool. It simply means that this amenity was not selected for those properties by your fellow myCRM users. On rental properties within myCRM, you're able to record how many checks the landlord would prefer to accept. Rent collection breaks this data down from the exact building right through to the average for the whole of the city. In this example, you can see how the average landlord of a one bed for rent in Burj Khalifa would prefer 2 checks, whereas the standard throughout Dubai is a tendency towards 4 checks, and you could perhaps use this information to set realistic expectations with tenants or landlords. The layout section shows how the percentage of apartment types in the building, as well as the percentage of leads each type is responsible for. Hovering your mouse over each column will display the exact percentage, as well as a summarizing sentence to help make sense of things. The same is also true of the bathrooms tab. Continuing to scroll, we now arrive at the offer-demand ratio. The closer this number is to 1, the more the leads and listings are balanced with each other. A lower number than 1 implies more listings than leads, weak demand, and a higher number than 1 suggests that demand is high as there are more leads than listings. The higher the number, the more powerful the demand. Of course, the reverse is also true. You can see how the building or area you're researching compares to the locality. For example, in this case, we can see that the demand for Burj Khalifa area is greater than that of the Burj Khalifa itself. All of this information is then summarized for you in the next section called Lead Inquiries. Here you can see what most of the recorded leads for this search are looking for. Now imagine that you've already felt that you knew about Burj Khalifa. Most likely your gut feelings have now been validated. Conversely, imagine that you didn't know anything about Burj Khalifa. Hopefully now you know more than enough to have a high-level conversation with any owner, buyer or tenant and set their expectations realistically. Let's return to the original blue screen, only this time we'll choose the Analyse option. Instead of being asked to input search credentials, you can now choose a property from your own database, your colleague's database, or the listings which are currently live on Property Finder. Rather than endlessly scrolling for a property you're looking for, you can search by the respective myCRM or Property Finder reference number. If you click to search by reference number, you're also presented with the advanced search option. If I search for Marina Heights, it will show me all of my listings in Marina Heights for me to analyse. Alternatively, from the preview section of the listing, or on the listing itself, you will see this icon which, when clicked, will take you to a new tab with that property analysed within Genius. As before, the top box shows you what has been analysed, however you'll notice now that Genius is showing you where that property fits into the range and gives you this icon showing you the insights specific to the analysed property. The same is true for the size section. The amenities section shows you the 10 most represented amenities for the building, and then it shows you which of these amenities that your listing does or does not have. It's a similar story for the remaining parts. Always value your feedback at myCRM. Please let us know your thoughts on Genius by clicking the Give Feedback button, clicking on the Chat with an Expert button on the bottom left of the screen, emailing support@mycrm.com, or by calling 800 myCRM. Thank you.